God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, the ski mask.
What's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down! We about to kick off part 2 of coming home from a life sentence. So what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down! So today, I got my boy Jefes the shooter in here, man, and he shoots some of my videos and stuff. We're gonna be working together, and he has asked me a lot of questions about what was it like, coming home after having a life sentence. So I got him on today, man, just to ask me a couple questions and give y'all this episode 2.
What's up, y'all? This is an honor, but I got some good questions, and yeah, man, grab a seat and let's get it going. So, first things first, you get out, they let you out or whatever. What's the first thing you did once you stepped outside of the gates? Before you got to the bus and all that? Like, did you say a prayer? What did you do first?
Well, no, like I said, my mom, she came to pick me up, so, I'm just sitting there. I look up, I finally see her car, and so they had it where you couldn't take no pictures or nothing like that, because I wish we could have took pictures or done some recording or whatever. So I just basically walked out. She was out the car. I got out, gave her a hug, she got out. I gave her a hug, and we hopped in the car and just rode to the hotel room she had.
So when you got into the car, because I imagine that's been your first time in a car in quite some time, were you surprised at the fact that technology has changed inside of cars, like as far as like tape players to CD players to just Bluetooth stuff and like all that type of stuff?
Well, you know what? I really didn't trip on that. When I got into the car, actually, it was my first time being in the front seat, so I was kind of spooked at how fast the car was going, because the only times I'd really been in a car was either the van or the bus they transported us on, or they got a van. Sometimes they would take us to the hospital, and of course we'd be sitting in the back, so I wasn't seeing. I'm not sitting right in the front watching things go by at 65, 70 miles an hour. So that was kind of alarming and shocking,
What so when you guys are leaving, you guys are happy, hugging and all that. What was the first thing you ate?
Like I said, we ended up going to IHOP. My mom came up there with my aunt and my niece, and so we ended up going to IHOP.
Okay. How was it? Like, a lot of things have changed in that time, right? Like just everyone in like the community and everything. What were some big things that you noticed that you had to like adjust to, being that you've been living a certain way for so long? Now it's like you're on the outs. Like, are there certain things that you're like, wow, I didn't know this was like this? Or
well, one of the things I think I just had to adjust to is, like, in prison, people always give you your personal space. Out here, people would just like walk right up behind me. I remember one time, maybe a week after I got out, I was in Sizzler, and some guy came walking up behind me. I was in the bathroom. Some guy came walking up behind me real fast, so I turned and I spit on him, because like I say, in prison, people don't do that. They don't run up behind you real fast or whatever, or just come up behind you suddenly. So I had to get used to that and adjust to, people kind of like invade my personal space. And also I notice out here, it seems like people are much ruder. In prison, everything is based on respect, man. A person bump into you, or he'll say excuse me, or just you at the supermarket and you're doing something on the aisle. Somebody just come and reach right over you and grab something and don't say excuse me, don't say nothing. So that's what I had to adjust to, just stuff like that.
Yeah, dang, I can only imagine. Like, you're like, okay, hello, wow, okay. So when you got out, was there old relationships you might have wanted to rekindle, like with old homies, or just people like from the past that just like, hey, I'm out now. This is you ever get that feeling?
Well, no, not necessarily. It might have been one or two homies that I wanted to see, because like I say, when I was found suitable, which is what they call it when you go to the board and they say that they give you basically a date or being found suitable. I told my mom, don't tell nobody. So I didn't let nobody know I was coming home outside my immediate family, and basically that's it, and so when I got out, it was a couple of homies that I wanted to see, my real, a couple of my day ones, my homie K-Love and my buddy Tyrone Allen and a few dudes, but for the most part, I was just, I didn't want a lot of people to know that I was out yet. I was still adjusting to being out, and it was just like kind of a nervous-like thing. So I was just, relaxing and stuff.
Okay. When you came back, because I remember you mentioned in the video, and you just said it now, that no one knew like the first few days, right?
Right.
How long did it take until you started like getting back into the swing of things, of connecting with all your friends, like from the people in your music videos and your buddies and stuff? Like, how long did it take before you started doing that?
I would say maybe about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe somewhere around there. Because like I say, when I got released, the very next day I had to report to a transitional house, and a transitional house is basically just a place where we go to live and for about 6 months, and they help us get reacclimated with being free. So once I got there, I was able to take a phone with me, and so after a while, I started calling a couple people, man, and letting them know I was out. And matter of fact, my cousin James, he came and got me, and we drove to Bannon, and I was just nervous about being back in Bannon for whatever reason. And we went past my buddy's house. They didn't know I was out, so we just knocked on the door, and they was real surprised to see me. Because like I said, man, everybody knew I had a life sentence, and didn't nobody expect me to come home. I had been gone for 24 years.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I pop out, they was like, pop up at their house. They like, man, what the hell you doing out? So
you popped out like, what the hell? Then where did you come from?
Right.
Dang. So when you linked up like your cousin James and stuff, did you guys like did he hit you with like he has like maybe like a plan for you or something to help you like get up and going? Like once you got out, did you have any of those type of plans, or anyone assist you with like getting jobs or this type of thing?
Well, no, everybody basically was just, my immediate family and close friends were just basically telling me, to relax, man, and kick back, just take things slow. Of course I had a couple of good friends, man, hit me off with some, a lot of bread, man. My cousin James, he hit me with 5 racks. And so then I had a couple other friends give me, 3 and 4 here, 15 there, and this and that. And my buddy Devoy Casillas, he hit me with some nice bread. And so, I just really, man, I was just content with being free. Now, when I went to the transitional house, there was a lot of people there, and they was concerned with, a lot of other people who had paroled, and basically just a whole lot of lifers there. And they was a lot of them concerned with buying cars, hurry up and going and getting a social. You can edit that, right? The social security card number.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, and so a lot of people was concerned with doing that shit, man, going to get their social security card and stuff, and just things that they didn't have. And I was just content, because I knew I had to stay there 6 months, and I wasn't really worried about, I was just taking it easy, man, laid back, chilling. I'd talk on the phone. I'd stay out until 3 or 4 in the morning talking on the phone. Once a lot of people did find out that I was out, they'd be calling, I'd be talking to people, and so it was, it was cool.
That's cool. So it seems like once people knew you were out, people like was happy like to see you, like chills back, like, you know what I mean? That's dope, man. Well, what do you think were like some of the most important factors of you getting out and coming home to that maybe the next inmate that came out and paroled or whatnot did not have? Like tell us about. You just mentioned some of your support system with your buddies and everything chipping you off, but elaborate more on that. Like, how do you think your situation was different and how it helped you prosper into doing this YouTube stuff that, you've kind of just built your own like world,
Well, you know what, that was instrumental in me getting out and just having a strong foundation, having, because like you said, everybody don't have that strong support system. You got many people that's been in jail, 15 years, 25 years, 30 years, whose family have passed away, or their family is not in a financial position to even be able to help them. So, that was one thing that I was extremely grateful for, coming home, man, and like I say, I had all the help in the world that I needed. I had, a lot of people don't have places to go. And sometimes that's why the recidivism rate, and the recidivism is basically the return of prisoners going back to prison. And so that's why the recidivism rate is so high at times, because when people return back to the exact same spot, that they went to prison from, they tend to get caught up in the same, the same activity. They start hanging around, the same people, and some of them times, no matter how hard, or how well they've planned out, when you get out, you gotta, you no longer have people feeding you 3 times a day. You no longer have shelter. So sometimes, we fall back into the same patterns that led us to prison in the first place. And so just by having family there, support, by having, a lot of financial help, I wasn't forced to, return to the old things that I was doing.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. I've never heard it from like that perspective or looked at it like that, but it makes sense. If you come out and you're used to getting so much and you don't have like nowhere to stay and you could barely find food, it's like you're kind of stuck in a position of like, well, it's like I got to do something, and I might as well go back to doing what I used to do,
Right. And earlier in one of my stories, I had told the story, I think, I was talking about the poker game where my buddy had got into a fight over a poker game, and the dude he got into the fight with, I had heard him say a couple of days before that he didn't want to go home. And at that point in time, by me having a life sentence, I couldn't understand what the hell he was talking about. But now it's more realistic to me and helps me understand that if everybody don't have that support, he probably was nervous about what he was going to get out and do, because he had done maybe about 12, 13 years. So, he probably didn't have a support system out there. So now he's wondering, what am I supposed to do, man? I don't have no place to go, because they give you, I think back then, they would probably give you like maybe $120 or $100, or maybe $200, I think they would give you $200, and $200 gate money. Mm-hmm. And with that, you gotta buy, your bus ticket back to where you're going, and then if you don't have no clothes, you got to purchase some clothes from them, so they're going to charge you about $15, $20, $30 or whatever. And then so now you look up now, and after the bus ticket, you might be down to $110, $15. And that's all the money you got in the world, So for some people, that's very, that's something that's mind-blowing, and it's very scary going back out to the world, wondering, what the hell am I going to do?
Damn. Sheesh, I could only imagine if you get out, you have $110 after you did paid for your bus and your clothes. And the price of rooms are...
Right.
Let me ask you about that. Before you went in, how much were the price of like rooms and stuff?